Good morning. Hello, happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Crispy on Limits Coffee Chat. Make sure that I have, hello. All right. Feel like a wet dog. I just came in from a run. For those of you new to the group, welcome. Welcome to Crispy on Limits. This is the daily coffee chat where I pop in with different topics, things that have been on my heart and my mind. And today I want to talk about endurance. So for those of you who don't know, I'm Crystal Cruz with the Cruz Coach. I'm a life and fitness accelerator, and I love to help people, especially women, show up for themselves no matter what, okay, for at least 30 minutes a day, and dedicate that time and invest in themselves and their health. So I do that through a multiple different programs. As you pop in, say hi. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to see you. I don't always see everyone that comes in, but if I see comments, I can engage with you. So this is our coffee chat, just me and you. And so I want to talk about endurance today because as an endurance athlete, as a marathon runner such as myself, I have really grown accustomed to what's uncomfortable. And I've had to endure a lot of experiences. And on my 9-mile run this morning, it was raining out. It was a little chilly. I'm training for a marathon. And I know that I have to get out there and do the work, right? And I know already ahead of time that there's going to be parts of it that's going to suck. All right, let's just be real. And for those of you that are in the military, we have a phrase that's called embrace the suck. All right, we endure what we know is in front of us, the pain, the obstacles. We endure it. But it's something that we have ingrained in our mind that we know that we're working towards a goal, right? When we have big, lofty goals and we set these intentions for ourselves, the struggles, the obstacles, the pain, the challenges are going to creep in. All right, so when we endure, I'm not saying you have to suffer, right? And I looked up the definition. So the first part of the definition in the verb is suffer, okay? Something painful or difficult, but patiently. Knowing that it's painful, that it's difficult, but you're patient. This is a big piece. Many times, I study the brain, I study emotional intelligence, and what happens inside the brain when things get tough, when it gets painful, many people quit. We retreat, we quit, and I've done it myself, okay? So I know how this feels. And that feeling of quitting and rejection sucks. Let's just be real. It's worse than the pain itself. So I'm not saying you have to suffer through the whole thing. However, nothing good comes from your comfort zone. That comfy cozyville, all right? The triumph comes from enduring and sticking through and pushing through when it's tough, when you want to stop, when you want to quit, when you keep getting knocked down, when doors are closing, when you're rejected everywhere, when you can't stand up on your own 2 feet. When you can't take care of yourself. And you endure and you sit in patience and trust and faith in yourself. God, what you're here to do, you endure that pain. It's this like slice, this like sliver that kind of just like sinks through this deep rooted, like your soul. That's endurance. And when you come out of it, it's like, oh, that's the triumph. That's the feeling of freedom, the excitement, the accomplishment, the commitment that you stayed the course and you did it. That's endurance. There hasn't been one race that I've run. These are multiple finish lines that I've run through, starting lines and finish lines. Most of the work happens before I even show up to the race. I've practiced so many times, all the obstacles. I visualized myself completing the goal and put myself in the triumph already prior to being there. So this is a visualization exercise. And for those of you who are in the Bombshell Bootcamp, we're going to go through this tonight. I'm going to, when we talk about our consistency, we're in day 3 of 5. We're going to talk about consistency, and we're going to do a visualization exercise and practice this. But when we set big goals for ourselves, if we quit before we even start or get to the starting line, we're never going to feel the triumph. And every epic leader, the books, the history books, all of that is a story of triumph and endurance and grit and determination when it's tough, and they came out on the other side. And this suffering, this endurance, you don't have to stay there. It doesn't last forever. Think of all the things that you've been through in your life. You've gotten through 100% of them because you're still here watching this video. You're welcome. Give yourself some credit for the things that you have endured. How much stronger you came out on the other side, and you're here to tell that story. But why do we quit sometimes when things it's a big goal, something gets a little harder, we level up our life and we're like, holy crap, this next level is even scarier. For those of you who played video games, I wasn't a huge video game person growing up, but I used to play with my brother. And it was always the next level, right? Super Mario Brothers, level 9 with Gupta or whatever the heck the guy's name is. Help me out, all right? The villain in the character, every single level got harder. You had to endure more things, more adversity. And the triumph comes from beating it. Yes, I beat it. Now, sometimes we looked up tricks. Thankfully, we had the internet and there were books out there back then, right? We looked up tricks. We developed tools. We put them in our toolkit. We talked to other people that beat that and say, how'd you get there? So you got help. You got coached. You endured. And you were relentless. Children are relentless at getting what they want. All right? They will go to all obstacles. They will push through. They will fight, kick, and scream and endure to get what they want. For those of you who have kids, you know this, right? So why do we lose that as adults? Where did we lose that? In sports, maybe you played sports, maybe you were an athlete in high school. Many adults, when they get to college, it's like drinking is your marathon sport, right? Or studying and finding your career and finding your soulmate is your endurance sport. So we lose that part of our brain that says, whoop, we need to focus, control, like this is it. This is what we're enduring. And when many times if you're an athlete, you understand that part of your brain, right? Because you've practiced it. But then we lose it as adults. So I've been thinking a lot about this because a lot of my clients, they show up with this endurance and this grit. First couple of weeks, they're like, yes, I'm all in. And then all of a sudden, like 2 weeks in, stuff gets hard because we're trying to recreate this version of ourselves. And we tend to seek adversity from ourselves, from our self-doubt, because we're afraid of that next level, of what we're going to have to do at the next level. We're afraid of success, and the fear of success is worse than the fear of failure. And I've done it. I have self-sabotaged. I've been afraid of that next level. Am I going to be able to keep this momentum? Am I going to be able to show up for that next level? What's next? I don't know. It's scary. I want to stay in comfy cozyville. It's comfortable. It's warm. Okay, so this part of endurance. The second part of the definition, I have it on the screen behind here, that's why I keep looking up, is to remain in existence and last. All right? These cities have endured through time. There's cycles, right? There's cycles of our life. There's good days, there's bad days. There's good months, there's not so good months. There's good years, there's not so good years. All right, there's seasons and ebbs and flows in our life, and we have endured all of them so far. So what's in front of you, that vision you have for your life, those goals, those big lofty goals, this is just another blip in time. But remember, the feeling of regret, it hurts worse than the endurance that it takes to push through when it gets hard and to keep showing up no matter what, because you have this thought, this dream, this gut feeling that you want to be something, you want a better version of yourself, better than you yesterday. So what's it going to take to get there? And are you going to quit on yourself before you start? Or are you going to endure and know that the obstacles and the endurance and the grit and the determination and the consistency and the dedication and the support is what is going to get you through? We're not meant to do this life alone. You are not meant to endure and suffer alone. Okay? There's people out there that care, that want to support you, that love you. If you need community, I'm here for you. All right? Find a community, find a support system. I had a conversation with a client last night after the Bombshell Boot Camp. Wow, Crystal, we're sharing some pretty vulnerable stuff in this group. There's a lot of people in here. It's scary. Yeah, it's scary. It's a vulnerable space to put yourself out there. But this is where the magic happens. We're not meant to do this life alone. So when you have support, you get help, you get coached. I am trained to handle the space for this. I'm a certified coach, and I can see it in people's eyes really quick because I've been there. I've been in this self-negative spiral way too many times, and that's why I developed this toolkit and this community of support so that we can endure together, all right, and help each other out, get us to the next level. And I get coached as well. So I have a support system that I go to. I'm not going to come in here and cry and tell you all my problems. Yes, I'm going to tell stories and lessons of me coming out on the other side, and I may be vulnerable at times. This is a vulnerable space for me. But I get help and I get coached so that I can level up and endure everything that I'm going through too. I'm right here with you. All right, so it's just me and you, Cruise Beyond Limits coffee chat. This Cruise Beyond Limits thing, the limits that we place on ourselves are greater than the limits that are outside, but yet we blame and shame everyone else. I want you to look in the mirror today. Where are we quitting on ourselves? Endure. Be that endurance athlete. Be the underdog in your life. You against you. Have the triumph of when you doubted yourself and you showed up and you stood up. I could have quitted when it started pouring rain and it was freezing this morning. But I know I have a goal to do. I have a marathon in a couple months. I had 9 miles on my calendar, on my plan. I dedicated the time. I said, I'm going to do it. I'm not injured. My legs aren't broken. And I can't pick the weather on race day. Yeah, my hair is messed up. I got it done yesterday. It was so cute and curly. Now it's a wet dog. But whatever. I endured. And I feel so great that I did not stop now 1/10 of a mile before 9 miles. The feeling of that gratitude and the accomplishment, when all the times, all the steps, I actually ran past my house. I wanted to quit before 9. I'm like, no, not today. Because the brain keeps count of the times that we quit on ourselves. And then it starts to tell that story. See, you weren't made. You didn't finish it. And then when we don't accomplish our goals, then it's like, oh yeah, no wonder why, because you didn't show up anyways. And then we do this chatter, this inner chatter that beats ourselves up and validates the reasons why you're not good enough. How do I know? Ask me how I know. Okay? So if you're feeling this, let me know. I would love to hear you. I hear from you. If you want to have a conversation, it's not too late to join Day 3 of Bombshell Bootcamp. We're going to go through the habits. I have my 30-day free habit tracker. I'll drop the link of that below. I'll also drop the sign-up link if you're not in the Bombshell Bootcamp. There's replays from days 1 and 2. People are hopping in already this morning and catching up on the replays. It's better than Netflix. Binge watch, better than binge watching your favorite show. This is your life. Why not binge watch your life? Level up. All right? So let's think about, how are you an endurance athlete? And where are you quitting on yourself? All right, let's stop that. Let's rewrite that story and push through when it gets tough. Okay? It's worth it. You're worth it. And you're going to be able to tell an amazing story at the end. Imagine that. All right? But sometimes it takes putting other people in your life, getting help, getting coached, getting support, getting the accountability that's required. All right? Getting the feedback that's going to fuel you forward. Okay? That's saying, yep, you're doing it. You're on the right track. Sometimes the feedback that we give ourselves, we need a little bit more than that. All right? We're not meant to do it alone. All right? So I create the space so that we can all be moving in the right direction. All right? Better than yesterday, wherever you're at in the world. So this is what I do. This is my life's work. And I want this for you. All right? I want you to be so dialed in, an endurance athlete of your life. Are you ready for it? Are you up for the challenge? Let me know below. All right, share your reflections. Reach out if you need help. I'm in your corner all the time, cheering you on. If you're in the Bombshell Bootcamp, I'll see you at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the other group. Love you all. Cheers. Cruise Beyond Limits.